Welcome back to Flyby Seat of Your Pants Productions. I'm Lester, owner and operator of AFH Audio Services here in the Midwest. It has been crazy hot here in the Midwest, mid-90s. I'm here in my shop, got the fan running, so if you hear the background noise, I'm sorry, it's just hot. So here's a little update on the Dmix 128. So I originally ordered the Dmix 128 from Phil, and I needed it for a demo, and they weren't in the United States yet, so he had one shipped from another production company that they were demoing to me. So I guess I was the first one that Phil sold here in the US. Well, during that shipping process and repackaging process, one of the tabs got broke, one of the little locking tabs got broke on the AES connection. So Phil said he'd take care of it, and he did. He sent me a whole other unit. That one came in. That was a demo from Infocom 2026, and so I ran into a few issues with that. Was having trouble connecting. What we found out with Danny and the team at Violet Audio was because they renamed it. I was typing in Dmix local, like everything says on the website, and because they renamed it, it was actually the new name, Dmix 2 local. So once we got that figured out, everything's been working fine. I got it all back in the rack. We're getting it set up and ready for some future events. I want to try to use it in a couple different ways. I want to split it off my SQ board, either through Dante or MADI, and then use the Dmix 128 for front of house. I have a conference that I do twice a year up north, and I normally take my D Live. I'm trying to slim that down and take less equipment. But the band is already used to the SQ as monitors, so I will probably keep the SQ going for their monitors and just split off for front of house. A couple weeks I got a 7-piece funk band that I have to run. I'm thinking about using the SQ for monitors and the Dmix 128 for front of house for that event. So I have to get that all set up and dialed in. I went ahead and ordered the RME Digiface Dante. That gives me both MADI and Dante capabilities, so it gives me flexibility on how to route things and how to set things up. And that's what we're going to do tonight. We're just going to test some things. We're going to try to get it all up and going. I ordered the D feedback. I'd like to put that in the Waves Performer and try to get that working for the conference up north. That's always good to have some feedback protection on those kind of corporate events. So that's where we're at. Let's have some fun. All right, so here's the back of the SQ. I currently have the Dante card in it. I did go ahead and purchase the MADI card here. I'm going to try to put that in there and try to split it, do a MADI split, see if that works. Trying not to rely on Dante too much. It works pretty good for my other setup, but the simpler I can make these setups, simpler is sometimes better. So Dante works good for the D Live. I come in the D Live, I split off Dante, and then I go to the SQ that I use for monitors, and that works out pretty good. Don't get too much latency with that. And the reason I'm doing it that way is because I come out the S-Link and I go into the I don't know what it's called, the Allen and Heath 12 outputs. I go in to that for my wireless in-ear system. So that gives me 6 stereo in-ears for the band. And so that's the way I'm doing that. I also have the Giga Ace card that's in my D Live that I can also, you know, split off of the D Live and come into the SQ, or just, it gives me lots of flexibility within the Allen and Heath ecosystem. So we are going to put this MADI card in and get it all squared away. I will see if the MADI works out well. I may get a MADI card for the D Live. I don't know. Bouncing back and forth on that. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how much I would use it. Oh, you know, it's pretty much point to point setup. So very little other things that can cause problems with the MADI system. It's point to point. Use BNC coax cable. Go from this item to that item. This piece of equipment, that piece of equipment, and it just works. So keep it simple is sometimes the best. And yeah, so let's get this all dialed in and set up. All right, we're back. So I got everything wired. One note, when I did get the new Dmix 128, I had to update to the 1.2.3 firmware, and it's working great. The fans are a lot quieter. That's the main thing that I noticed. The fans were a lot quieter. I know there's other things that they did with that firmware update, but I haven't come across them yet, so definitely recommend updating that. So here's my setup. I got a microphone coming into channel 8 on my SQ mixer. I'm doing a tie line out the MADI interface in the back. And from that tie line, oh, let's see, where am I going? Oh, I have the Dmix 128 going into ports 1 in and out, and the RME Digiface going into ports 2 in and out. So that kind of gives me, lets everything talk to everything else. Got the total mix set up here on the computer. This right here is waves. Where's the total mix? Aha. There's the total mix. I've kind of gone in there and I've set up, kind of did the routing, X. So I got 1-to-1, MIDI 1 coming in and out, MIDI in 1, coming out 1, MIDI in 2, coming out 2, so on and so forth. And so on the SQ, so if I go to I/O, I go to I/O port MIDI, it's a 1-to-1. I'm doing the tie lines, tying everything together. So that ties my check. That ties my microphone that's coming in there on channel 8. It's my test channel coming in. And switch this back to the mixer view. Check. Coming in on MADI 8, going out on MADI 8. All right. So now for the Dmix, we'll go to channel 8. 8. Go to the processing page. Oh, already got it pulled up. So So this is the source. So right now it's set up for analog 8. I have to unlock it, and then I can set it up for MADI 8. I set it up for MADI 8, so that would be where it's receiving its signal. And go back to home. All right. Channel. There we go. Now we'll go back to home. Go back to gain. So I can see the gain on channel 8. See, it says trim because it's coming from a MADI channel. Check, 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 check. There we go. So it's coming in there. So it is coming in my SQ, going out my MADI, going into the Dmix 128. It's also going into RME's Total Mix. They're showing it up. They're showing on the Dmix 128. So now that it's in the computer, I can go through waves. So go to my waves. Rack number 8. Check, 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 check. There it is. Rack number 8. So now it's going through waves. So now we just have to get it to route out of MADI 8 on the total mix and have that loop back into, if I was doing front of house, I would have to loop it back into the Dmix 128 so that I could add the D feedback to it. So that is what we're going to work on next. All right, here we go. So this is the Dmix 128 software. It is really pretty simple to operate. Everything works, you know, as you'd expect it to. This is being a touch screen. It's a little delayed a little bit, but the computer works just fine. The iPads work just fine. This touch screen is delayed. I think it's the touch screen. But it's really simple. You can go through setting the gains. This one I have it set up to come in MADI from my SQ, so that's why you're seeing the trim, not the gain. These are all just still set up to be analog inputs, so it has a gain rather than a trim. We have our aux here if we're sending in that channel to the different auxes. It's got 24 different auxes. Same with effects if we're sending it to effects. Matrices if we're sending it to matrices. This is the effects rack with the 10 different effects. This is a assign screen if I want to assign to a subgroup, to a DCA, things like that. Routing page on the new 1.2.3. They got the new routing, the old routing. Looks kind of like. Oh, come on. There it goes. You switch, it goes back to the old routing. Kind of looks like this, a little bit different. The new routing is more in common with what you see on the Allen Heath products. So this will go back to the new routing on the 1.2.3. This is the routing page where I came in here. And let's see, inputs. Inputs, where did I add it? I added it into the insert in and insert out, is where I currently have channel 8 going. Overview gives you all the channels, standard, that you would have with any digital mixer. On the particular channels, so if I'm on channel 8, you can double tap on it. You can go to channel, you can change your source. It's currently locked. You have your input for high pass, low pass. Do delay, do phase, flip it 180, standard gate, standard compressor that you would see. EQ, it's got the 4 bands. You can add additional bands. Band select, dynamic. You can change the bands to dynamic if you want. You can add additional bands. That's a nice feature of this, adding additional bands. Add is up to 8 bands. You can make those dynamic if you want. Very nice feature there. GEQ on every channel, which is kind of different. This is a compressor. It's a dynamic compressor where you can isolate the what section of the frequency is going to compress. This works real good for syllables on microphones, kind of as an extra de-esser. Sometimes when singers sing on microphones and they start really getting into it, some microphones get brighter, or they sound harsher in the top end, so that'll help tame some of that. The de-esser would be just if you're de-essing, take the S's and the CH's out of things. Insert, if you're going to insert, this is where we're going to insert the Super Rack Performer and Waves plugins. These 3 buttons here are nice. They give you additional that they didn't have last time. This is a new feature, I believe, on the 1.2.3. So you can click an aux, and when you're on that channel, and you can click the effects when you're on that channel. You can click the sign, all from that channel view, which is all pretty nice. Let's see, we got this up here, goes through the main, gives you your breakdown on your IP address, whether you're DHCP or manual. Set it up for English, different languages. I'm running MADI 64. The remote, if you have some remote drivers, I'm still waiting for the ASIO driver to come out on their website. I believe it's a week or 2 out before they get that released, and then I will load that in for my new laptop. I do have the driver currently for the MacBook. Streams. I haven't dealt with streams, so I'm not sure where that one does. UI, this gives you set up for the UI. One of the things I like to open the right panel on open, on startup. So I like that panel to automatically come out. So that's one thing that I set. I like to see the strip slider value. I have to restart to get that one to work. Usage gives you all the different dynamic EQs and multi-band compressors and extra EQ bands that you're adding, because you can only add looks like 128. I just added 2, so it will list down which channel has what. Solo, your different solo things, whether you're going to be doing a PFL, AFL, things like that. You can set up solo 1, solo 2, about, tells you about it. That's where you would go to check for updates. You can switch back to default settings. I currently have the 1.2.3. So let's see, that gives you live or sound check on that tab. Looks like a main RTA. We can see a main RTA oscillator. Boy, I'm tired after a hot day of work. Monitoring, that goes back for the monitoring for soloing. Looks like you can jump scenes. The little 3 dots there, click that. That gives you the different scenes. See, this one came from Infocom 1. This was a demo unit from Infocom that they sent me. The star, I think, is favorites. They added that. That's pretty neat. So you got, all your different, you can do individual channel, 1 through 64. This will give you quick access to, do you want to do 33 through 48? It lets you jump around pretty fast. Lets you jump to the subgroups, the effects groups, the aux, the DCAs. You can set up the view, depending on what you want in the view. So set those up. How do we do that? Let's see. There we go. You push and hold on to it. Then I can assign, I can rename, I can change the color, I can add the delay, I can link it if I'm doing stereo. I can reset it, I can copy and paste, rename it, assign. Yeah, that'd be if I wanted to assign the view groups. I can assign the view groups, the cue groups, the DCAs, the subgroups, all from that tab. That's all pretty simple. The tap tempo is right there, which I like to keep up. My mute groups are right there. So I like to keep this strip up when I'm mixing on my iPad. It really is laid out a lot like the UI-24. So that's basically all that. Like I said, I am coming in my SQ. My microphone is physically plugged into the SQ. I'm doing a digital split out of that MADI into the Dmix 128. That's what we're going to do. We're going to use the SQ for monitors for this upcoming event. I'm going to use the Dmix 128 for front of house. Everything's going to be split to that with the MADI. So everything comes in. You can see that I'm getting a signal. I have not tested latency on this yet, but being front of house, I have a little bit of flexibility on. If it's got a little bit of latency, it's not going to affect things too much. As far as the total mix, I'm going to upgrade to the 2.0. I have to download that firmware and get that loaded into my DigiFace. And so I want to redo all that. But then I'm going to get into routing the Waves plugins back through the Dmix 128, because I have an event in the fall where I want to use the D feedback plugin. I have some microphones, lapels and stuff that people like to walk in front of the speakers, and it'd be nice to have that just as a backup redundancy so I don't have to have my hand on the fader the whole time. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to run the D feedback on that event. That's later this fall, late October. And that is my setup. That is what we're working on tonight. I got to get everything programmed in and get all my basic channels. I pretty much have a start scene that I program into all my mixers. It's kind of a generic festival scene, and then I kind of tweak it from there. So it should all go pretty easy, and setup should be pretty easy. Front of house will be small. I won't be taking my D live, so front of house will be small. I'll probably keep it off the stage right, and we'll mix it from iPad, and then of course I can walk over there to stage right and grab the touch screen or grab my computer if I need to, if I need a hardwired connection. Something goes haywire with the Wi-Fi. But it's been pretty robust, pretty sound so far. Haven't had any major problems. And that is basically the Dmix 128. It's real simple to navigate. Go in there and you can find just about anything that you're looking for. It's really It's really a lot like the UI-24. If you've ever used that, it gives you all the same look, the same feel. And I was on the UI-24 for about three and a half years maybe, doing small events, local bar bands. Did a lot with those. And yeah, I like it so far. It sounds phenomenal. I believe it sounds a little bit better than my D-Live. I have not run it through my big PA and compared it A and B'd it with the D-Live, but I ran it through my studio monitors. And there is a noticeable difference between the sound quality of the Dmix 128 and the sound quality of the Allen Heath D-Live. So now we're adding the RME Digiface to bring in a good, robust interface for the Waves Super Rack Performer. Gonna give that a try. Contemplating buying the Live Box, but that's kind of a big investment for a little owner-operator like myself. But this is it. This is my setup. This is where we're going, and I will continue getting this all programmed in tonight, and then I'll get some footage of the video of the event. Sorry, it's been a long day. It's been a hot day. Working the shop all day long, and I'm a service manager at a shop, local shop, and you know, we have we have a lack of some employees, so you know, it's like a lot of managers. I'm out on the floor working more than I should, but we're making it all work. We're making it happen, and we're plugging away here at AFH Audio Services. And I'm going to continue making videos for Fly By Seat of Your Pants Productions. And like and subscribe. Thanks.